then I can master that and not worry about anything. But when you start talking about love, now you expanded my ability to comprehend what you're asking me to do. Yes. Who is my neighbor? Jesus told a parable. You remember? He told a story about the man that was beaten and left for dead. Remember that? And the preacher came by and left him. Another man came by and left him. Right? But then the no-name man, I don't even know if they gave him a name. The Samaritan. He comes by, picks him up, takes him, sees that he gets cared for. Then Jesus turned around and asked them, well, which one of them was the neighbor? But why don't we apply those principles when we're operating with people? We try to make people that don't have any natural anything in them to love us. Yes. Till we are exhausted and exasperated. And we walk all by our neighbor. I heard another version of this. There was a man who just loving God was walking on his way. Happy-go-lucky, not really paying attention. But as he was walking, he fell in a hole. And the hole was of such that he couldn't get out. And he tried to scratch his way out and claw his way out. But there was nothing that he could grip or grab on to be able to get up out of the hole. The story goes on to say that a preacher came by. And he heard the noise rustling, and out of the hole he began to holler, help, help me, help me, help me. And the preacher stopped. And he looked down in the hole. He said, somebody down there? He said, hey, yeah, it's me. I have fallen down in here. There's nothing that I can grab on to help get myself up out of there. So the preacher takes out a piece of paper and writes out a prayer and drops it down in the hole. So you just pray this, and you'll be able to get up out of the hole. Oh, isn't that what happens to us sometimes in life? When we go searching, we say, I realize there's a remedy, there's got to be an answer. And they say, well, you just pray about it. There are some things that require deliberate action. You have to do something. He stayed in the hole, but he had a prayer. Later, a doctor comes along. He clawed and scratched till his arms were bleeding, his feet were bloody. Because he felt like after he said that prayer, surely God would hear him. And he would be able to get up out of that hole. But instead now, not just in a hole, but he was bloody and hurting and lonely with a prayer. And he says, we'll muster up some more strength. I hear some more footsteps. And he hollers out of the hole, help me! I'm in a hole! I got a prayer, but I can't get out. I'm bleeding. There's nothing to grab onto. My feet are raw. I'm sick and I'm lonely. And the doctor takes out his prescription pad and writes him a prescription and drops it in the hole. You ever talk to somebody who said they knew the Lord and you thought they had faith and perhaps maybe they were at a place in their faith where you weren't? And they give you a prescription. But you still don't have, you can't get to the hospital to get it filled. Have you ever been there? You got advice, but it's not applicable to your situation presently. You need to be on a different platform to use it. So now he's in the hole with a prayer and a prescription. Bleeding, lonely, hurt, tired. You ever been there? Scraped up, thinking I'm never going to get out. But lo and behold, he hears some more footsteps. He says, if I don't get out now, I can't take it anymore. And lo and behold, it was his friend. And the friend was known for not having his french fries in his Happy Meal. His elevator didn't go all the way to the top. The lights were on, but often nobody was home. And he comes along, and perhaps in himself he said, oh God, I'm really doomed now. But he says, let me just try. What I really need is a rope. And if I can just get him to get a rope, he doesn't have to be real smart. If he just drop it down and hold it, I can get out. And he hollers up, and his friend says, man, is that you? What's wrong? What happened? What's the matter? And he says, I've fallen down in here and I can't get out and I need a rope. Go get a rope. Find somebody. Ask them for a rope. He's making sure that he's very clear. And his friend says, okay. But he backs up real far from the hole. And then he takes off. And he races and he jumps down in the hole with him. Now he's bleeding lonely. Oh, and what hope he thought he had is now in the hole with him. And he looks and he says, you dummy. You fool. I told you to get a rope. Now both of us gonna die. And his friend looked at him and said, no, we're not. We're not gonna die. He says, what you mean we're not gonna die? You know you kind of off anyway. And he looks back at him and he says, we're not gonna die.